Did British serial killer Patrick MacKay lie when he confessed to the killing of 11 people? Part B, Mary Hines. Of those 11 murders, MacKay was convicted of 3. Adele Price, Isabella Griffiths and Father Anthony Crean. He was suspected of 8 more, but didn't confess to all of them. The first of which, Heidi Manilk, it's unlikely he murdered. See Part A in this series. Of those 8, 2 he flatly denied killing, Stephanie Britton and Christopher Martin. He was only charged with the additional murders of Leslie Goodman and Mary Hines. And yet none of those 8 he was convicted of. But unlike Heidi, Mary Hines was a typical victim that MacKay targeted. She was elderly, frail, and she lived alone. On Friday the 20th of July 1973, 11 days after the murder of Heidi Manilk, Mary was last seen alive entering her back bedroom on the ground floor of 4 Willis Road in Kentish Town. She was found dead the next morning. Found on the floor, fully dressed, partially obscured by an eiderdown, strangled with a stocking, as he'd done with Adele Price and Isabella Griffiths. She'd been beaten brutally about the head, as he'd done with Father Anthony Crean, only this time with a block of wood. Nothing appeared to have been taken. The door was locked from the outside. He'd taken the key, and no one had seen him. These are all the classic hallmarks of Patrick MacKay. MacKay confessed to DCI John Harris and DS John Bland. He recalled, "I just flipped. I lost my head." But being a heavy drinker and a drug abuser, his memory of the murder was hazy at best. So why is Patrick MacKay suspected of a killing? He confessed to a killing, stating, "Although I can't remember the details, I'm sure that I, and only I, could have committed this murder. I'm positive of that." He identified a house, but only after he was shown crime scene photos and was taken to the location by the police. There were no signs of a break-in, no sexual assault. She was partially hidden, strangled and beaten about the head, all hallmarks of MacKay. But then also many other killers who attacked old ladies in Camden in that era. He was the police's perfect suspect, openly confessing to being drunk on drugs, a psychiatric patient, said to be a maniac, and stating, "I have bag snatched and bashed in a lot of old ladies." The police had kept the detail about the stocking being forced into Mary's mouth out of the newspapers, yet MacKay had recalled it, or so they say. And according to the police, he had an almost photographic memory of the murder scene, including the back door, which was nailed shut, which they claimed they hadn't told him about. The problem is, he later retracted his statement, stating, "There's no evidence to tie me except statements I made in a fed-up and couldn't care less frame of mind." And on the day of the murder, he was being held at Ashford Remand Centre, which the police would later claim he somehow broke out of, travelled to Kentish Town, murdered Mary, a woman he didn't know, took nothing, travelled all the way back to Ashford, broke back into the remand centre, and no one saw him for the 5 hours this would have taken. So if he didn't kill Heidi Manilk, was the killing of Mary Hines the real first victim in his killing spree of 11? And did it spur him to target wealthy elderly ladies as the poor had nothing to steal? Learn the full story in Patrick MacKay, Two Sides of a Psychopath Part B, a new crossover true crime series between Murder Mile UK True Crime Podcast and True Crime Enthusiast.